green. I don't know what these women are made out of, but I don't like it.
That's where you're finished?
Well, Johnnoy Johnson actually gave me a call. He also sent an email telling me that he wants to pay tribute to Ivy Baxter. And at first I was like, well, you know, what does this have to do with me? But he knew my history with Tony Wilson and the Company Dance Theatre, and he thought that dance was a huge part of my life then, but somehow it's not something that I do anymore. So he thought that he would use the opportunity to invite me to be a part of this amazing project.
Ivy Baxter is considered to be the mother of Jamaican modern dance. She basically pioneered the field. She was one of the first person to really delve and starting to research our traditional form. Amongst her peers, she's considered to be the Jamaican barefoot dancer. So she basically took off the ballet shoes because during her time, the predominant dance form was classical ballet. So anything outside of classical ballet was not really recognized. And she being the first, that's why we consider her to be the mother, because she pioneered it for Jamaicans.
Don't remind me, I didn't prepare. I literally came here with a very open mind and open heart, and I bit off more than I could chew, and on that very first day my body ached. And I told myself, I cannot do this. I even told Johnnoy, I think you're gonna have to get a contingency plan. I think you need a backup plan because I will not be able to do this. But I kept my word, came to the rehearsals, had a week. Don't know what I'm gonna look like finally, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
For me, it was an interesting process. The idea came while I was working on the soundtrack for the project. So we were in the recording studio, and being a dancer, I started to see movements, and I was like, okay, these movements are interesting. So how could I tie this into the Baxter project? I started to think about it, and after really sitting down and like fleshing it out, I realized that as Jamaicans, as Jamaican dancers, we are all connected to this great lady, Ivy Baxter. I wanted to choose females simply because I wanted to give females credit in the project. You know, being that Ivy Baxter is a female, and a lot of our Jamaican dance history is written from a male's perspective. You understand? So I really wanted to use females to really to highlight them.
Training has been horrible. I love dancing. It has always been a part of my life growing up. But I think comparing myself then and now, not doing any form of exercise, just not being fit, not being healthy, you realize, and plus we're wearing masks, you realize it's so much harder. And so training has not been fun at all. I mean, the company is great, the ladies are great, but getting back into shape, not so great. Breathing, my biggest hurdle is just breathing and keeping beat and remembering the count and the formation. All of these things they were so easy when I was younger, but now you realize that everything is slower and everything takes longer. But hopefully I'll get over the hurdle by the final day.
Practice has been interesting. You know, a lot of the ladies have not danced in a while. Terri, you know, when I contacted Terri, Terri was like, Johnnoy, I've not danced in how many years? But, you know, after explaining to her, she understood the vision and she graciously came on board, and I'm really grateful that she decided to come on board, because a lot of people, you know her for her as a media personality, but a lot of people did not know that she actually danced and was a fantastic dancer. I even remember while we were talking, telling her the last time I saw her on stage, she was performing for a final year students show at Edna, and I was blown away. And then, you know, when I was, you know, thinking about the different ladies, I was like, yo, I really wanted to get Terri, simply because she started out as a dancer, and then her career went into so many different path, you know, medicine and then PR and then Miss Jamaican. I was like, I think it would have been inspiring for a young girl, you know, to say, okay, well, dance and then you can still do other stuff as well?
I think one, I believe in the project. I think even though it's really hard for me and my body, I believe in what Johnnoy is trying to accomplish. Dance is a huge part of our culture, and yet still we focus a lot on, kumina, and it's really male dominated, but it's nice to know that someone has looked at like the mother of contemporary dance. To be a part of that, I think it's an honor, I think it's a privilege, and despite the challenges and despite not being ready and fit, I'm up for any challenge. So I'm going to give it my best shot.
Expect a lot of information that a lot of people don't know, a lot of information that I believe is relevant, and a lot of information that I think for my generation and the generation to come to know about this great lady, know about this woman who did so much, because we oftentimes think that, okay, I'm in this group or I'm in this company and we're all different, but really and truly, if you really sit down and look at the dance history of Jamaica, you really realize that we are all connected through this magnificent gem called Ivy Baxter. We are planning to have a premiere. The aim is for the public to see it, but in terms of like a location just yet, we're still fine-tuning that.
My grandmother says never say never. I've been bitten by the bug, but I don't know. With my itinerary, I don't know if I'll be able to be consistent, but it does bring back memories, and it is nostalgic to be in a dance studio and to do warm-ups. It's a nice feeling. I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up, but don't be surprised if I do. I hope not. Naima loves dancing. She actually came to the rehearsals one night and she said, "Mommy, good luck. I wish you all the best." And after the rehearsals, she, Johnnoy asked, "Is there anything else we'd like to say?" And she said, "I think my mother needs an ambulance." I just want to thank her so very much for for being a cheerleader. As for a project between Naima and I, probably not. But she loves dance, and I encourage her to keep up the good job. I think that's the nicest part of it. I mean, if I can push through the pain and the aches and my body saying no and my asthma saying, "Oh my God," I think it's amazing to see how we're all interconnected. I was Tony Wilson Dance Company. There is a dancer from NDTC and Lakadco and the junior department. And so it's just nice to see how, even though they're independent dance groups, that they all kind of mushroomed and came from, Ivy Baxter. And I think it's really nice to see how we're able to pull on our strengths as dancers, different shapes, ages, sizes, it doesn't matter, but just being joined in the name of dance. I think that's a beautiful thing. My advice for anyone who, you were once passionate about something and maybe life happened, maybe family happened, work happened, whatever it is, and you haven't found the opportunity to reignite that passion, yeah, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It takes time, it is challenging, it is change. But I think once you give it a go and you decide to do it anyway, just do it scared, and you come each time, you find that it gets easier. So if there's something that you had in mind that you're passionate about, pick it up, stick to it, and you'll be surprised to know how much better you might actually be.